All right, big welcome to Tuesday Team Training. My name is Denise Walsh. I'm a Black Diamond leader here with It Works. And every Tuesday we connect to help teach, train, hold each other accountable, and just like be on this journey together. And I'm really excited about tonight's topic. So just so you guys know, all of these are recorded and posted on my YouTube channel afterwards, probably tomorrow. So make sure you subscribe and stay connected there if you want to listen to any of the team training recordings. So today we are going to talk about not just like launching your business, but keeping your business open. And as they say, your business is only open if your mouth is. If your mouth is closed, so is your business. And what's really cool about this topic is that it truly transcends any business. I mean, think about it. If you were to, I always say dog walking. I don't know. It seems like a cool business. If you were to do dog walking, you would have to let people know that you now own a dog walking business. If you were to start a business from your garage where you make friendship bracelets, right? You're going to have to let people know about that. If you even just started a brick and mortar, I actually met a chiropractor once who canvassed a 6-block radius around his location that he was planning to open. He knocked on every single door before he even opened. And he said, do you have a current chiropractor? Are you looking for a chiropractor? I'm going to be opening a business in your area. Is this something that you think would be helpful? Like, he canvassed the area and introduced himself, built relationships, asked questions, and guess what that's called? Blitzing, right? So and no matter what business you're going to do, you are going to want to let people know what you're doing. So you're always building your network. You're always, we call it the elevator pitch, and anybody within, 7 feet of you should really know what your business is. And tonight I'm really excited because not only are we going to learn from Barbara Bozer, she just recently went to a training where they specifically focused on your elevator speech, your 30-second commercial, like your quick way to introduce the business to someone. But then we're also going to have a chance to practice. So as Barbara is sharing, I would love for you to really take detailed notes, because afterwards we're going to break you into groups and we're going to have you practice saying the stuff out loud so you can just get better, right? Practice is better. So Barbara, would you mind, let's see, if you can unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
I sure can. So you recently went to a training, and I would love to hear what you learned and how it can benefit us.
Yes, thank you. So I attended a private video shooting of Eric Worre's upcoming training. So if you don't know who Eric Worre is, he is a network marketing guru that basically runs a website and training program called networkmarketingpro.com. He's not affiliated with any network marketing company. He basically coaches network marketers. He's a prior network marketing, bazillionaire or whatever. But anyway, he lives here in Las Vegas where I live, and he's filming his new training series. So we were invited to go basically to be in the audience. So it doesn't look like he's not talking to anybody. And it was 2 days, 10 hours each day. I would do it again 1,000 times. I learned so much. So, over the rest of this year, I have so much good stuff to, kind of talk to everybody about. So what I wanted to talk with you about today is sharing your story. Part of what he was teaching us is you got to learn to, tell people what you're doing. Like what Denise just said, you're always open for business, and it's got to really just roll off your tongue. If you're stuttering and stumbling through it, it's uneasy, you're not going to want to do it, and you won't say it because it doesn't feel good. You leave feeling like, oh my God, I sounded like crap, I hated what I said. So it's something that you have to practice. Just like with anything. This chiropractor that went around to canvass the area had to go to school, and I'm sure he had to crack 1,000 backs before he got, whatever license you need as a chiropractor. It's not something that he can just sign up for and be really good at the next day. So everybody comes in, with a different skill level. I mean, some of you may have prior experience speaking and it might just flow off your tongue. Some of you maybe not, and you're just like sweating trying to say it. So what he did was he made us practice it, and then I'm going to do the same exercise here with you guys today. And he gave us 4 different, things that your story has to include. And it should be 2 minutes or less, really. Even 1 minute or less would probably be good. But you want to be able to have it 2 minutes or less. He recommends writing it out so that way you can videotape yourself saying it, see what you like about it, what you don't like about it, what you can take out, leave in, etc. And one of the exercises that he did the very first time that he had, his first meeting where he had to get up and speak, is he basically recorded, what he wanted to say and kept listening to it over and over and over again until he, knew the whole thing. And one tip that Mike Patillo gave me a long time ago, anytime you're going to start, a little spiel or a video or, speech, is to know where you're going to start and know where you're going to finish. So you're not kind of going all over the place. So if you're writing this down, there's 4 parts to your story that you want to, to include in your 2 minutes. And they're all important, but there's one in particular that's even more important. So number 1 is your background. Okay, so your story needs to start with your background. Number 2 is what you didn't like about it. So background, what you did not like about it. Number 3 is you found a solution. So background, what you didn't like about it, and you found a solution. And number 4 is how you feel about the future. Okay, so background, number 1. Number 2, didn't like what you didn't like about it. Number 3, you found a solution. Number 4, how you feel about the future. So in the chat, I would love to see what number do you think is most important out of all of those 4? Background, what you didn't like about it, your solution, or how you feel about the future. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of 3s and 4s. I said number 3 myself, but it turns out it's number 2. Okay, it's what you didn't like about it. And the reason is because that is where you're going to connect with somebody. That is where somebody's going to be listening to you and they're going to be like, oh my God, I didn't go to college either. Oh my gosh, I just lost my job too. Oh my gosh, I hated my boss also. Oh my gosh, I had to drive an hour each way to work. Whatever it was that you didn't like about your situation, that number 2 is where you're going to connect with somebody. And that, taking it into a product, for example, that's where you can connect with someone, where you can share, a little bit about what you didn't like about how you were feeling. And then they can be like, oh my gosh, that's me. I feel the same way or whatever. So number 2 is actually the most important one, even though they're all equally important. So for example, I'm going to give you my story right now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to break out into groups, Denise. And I hope you're going to do that for me because I don't know how. Okay, we're going to break out into groups. And then I would say maybe about, I guess, is it groups of 4?
It can be whatever we like it to be, 3 or 4 typically.
Okay, so let's do groups of 3 and for 6 minutes. That way everybody gets 2 minutes, okay? I'm going to give you mine as an example. And I do recommend that you kind of jot down, you don't have to write everything down, but background, what you didn't like about it, how you found this solution, and how you feel about the future, just so that you know where you're going to start and where you're going to finish, okay? So for me, my background is in customer service. I always worked in customer service. I worked at Starbucks. I don't have a college degree. And, one of the things that always bugged me is I felt like somebody else was always in control over my future. I felt like I was at a cap because I didn't have my degree. And every time I would go in and interview for, a position, I felt like there's no way they're going to hire me because I know there's 3 other people ahead of me that went to college and I didn't. And I just hated how other people were controlling my time and my future, and it's so weird. Like, my friend introduced me to this company and I really was not expecting it at all. Like, I said yes to something that most people say no to, and it turned out that it was the absolute best thing and best blessing that ever happened to me and my family. And it's so weird now, like when I wake up in the morning, I can't wait for the day. It's like I have so many options to do so many different things. And as I grow within the company, I'm not the same person I was 8 years ago, and I cannot wait to see who I'm going to be 8 years from now. So that's my spiel. Okay. So we want to hear your spiel. And then Denise, I'm going to text you to tell you what we're going to do in the second part, because we're going to do 2 breakout groups. Okay.
Perfect.
So the first group, if you can do groups of 3.
I'm going to share mine too, just for a minute while you guys are still thinking.
Yes.
And if you guys have, I assume that everyone's heard my spiel or my story a million times, but if you haven't, part of my story is that, I was a clinical psychologist. I got into that field because I wanted to work with and love people and pour belief into people. But I found that it was more about policy, paperwork, and procedure, and less about people, and I was burned out. And now, I get to do what I love with a system that, I feel like I'm working with people that want help and a system that can help them. And, the future is bright, and I've grown and changed and all those kinds of things. But the part that they always tell me to be the most loud about on stage, Barbara, same as you, I said 3 because I was like, the turning point. That's the most important, the turning point. There's hope, right? But the part that corporate always tells me to be the most, to be the loudest about is how many of you have been stuck like that? How many of you have gone through a quarter life crisis where you realize I don't want to be here anymore, but I don't know what else to do? How many, they really focus on number 2, and because that's when you want people to say, yeah, I get it. Then they're going to be more apt to listen to the other parts. And if we don't focus, if we don't get that connection point, then it's easy for them to think, oh, I can't be like you. They see us on stage, or they see, you hit diamond, or they see all this, fast start bonuses or whatever, and they're like, good for you, but I can't do that. And so I totally understand now why you would say number 2, because that's the point that corporate tells me when they're working with me to be loudest about as well. So, all right, I just added a little more time so you guys could think about your 4 points. So I'm going to break you into groups of 3 or 4, and then your goal is to have 2 minutes each. And then if you have any questions, you can raise your hand, and I'll get a notification. I'll be able to join your group and answer any questions that you have. And we will set our timers for about 6 minutes. Sound good?
Yep.
All right. All right, so you should get a little notification that says join breakout room, and then press join or whatever it says, and you will be connected with your little group.